A perfect morning. The sun peeked through the tall windows of the Blake family home in Portland. The kitchen smelled like warm pancakes and maple syrup. Savannah Blake, wearing her favorite navy robe, flipped pancakes while humming a soft tune. "Mom, Jaxon put syrup in my hair," screamed Sienna, her long honey blonde curls sticky with sweetness. "Mado, it was just a joke," Jaxon yelled, laughing and running around the table. "Mazda Lincoln, help me out here," Savannah called. Lincoln Blake, tall with messy dark hair and warm hazel eyes, walked in wearing a gray hoodie and jeans. He grabbed Jaxon gently and lifted him in the air. "Mo, you young man, owe your sister an apology and a full wash," Lincoln said with a grin. Savannah smiled as she looked at her family. Life wasn't perfect, but it was full of love. Lincoln worked as a drone engineer. Savannah was building her own singing business from home. They were a team after breakfast. Savannah kissed Lincoln goodbye-ward. "Safe, okay?" "Always," Lincoln replied, winking. A phone call changes everything that evening. As Savannah prepared dinner, the doorbell rang. She wiped her hands and walked over. 2 police officers stood at the door. "Mrs. Blake?" one of them asked gently. "Yes, there. Been an accident. Your husband, Lincoln. He didn't make it." The room started to spin. Savannah held onto the doorframe. "And Bruno?" "No, there must be a mistake. Aniel is so sorry, Mongo. His car was hit by a truck on the bridge. He died on impact." Savannah's legs gave out. The world blurred into silence. The children were sleeping. Savannah sat on the floor in the hallway outside their rooms. Tears flowed without stopping. How could she tell them their dad was gone? How would she survive? Her hands shook as she looked at Lincoln's jacket on the hook. It still smelled like him, coffee, wood, and rain. That night, Savannah didn't sleep. She stared at the ceiling and whispered, "How am I going to do this alone?" The next morning, Savannah sat with Sienna and Jaxon on the couch. "There's something I have to tell you," she began. The kids looked at her, sensing something was wrong. "Wanderer Daddy was in a car accident yesterday and he died." Silence. Then Sienna started to cry and Jaxon screamed, Star, no!" He promised he'd be home. Savannah held them both, her own heart breaking. "And Botori, no, baby. I know. The days that followed were hard." Jaxon cried every night asking for his dad. Sienna stopped drawing and barely spoke. Bills piled up. Savannah struggled to keep up with her. Quarantine business friends brought food, but at night she was alone. One night, Savannah sat on her porch with a blanket wrapped around her. She looked at the stars and whispered, "Amber Lincoln, if you can hear me, for I need your strength. I need to be strong for them." The next morning, Savannah sat with Sienna and Jaxon on the couch. "There's something I have to tell you," she began. The kids looked at her, sensing something was wrong. "Wanderer Daddy was in a car accident yesterday and he died." Silence. Then Sienna started to cry and Jaxon screamed, Star, no!" He promised he'd be home. Savannah held them both, her own heart breaking. "And Botori, no, baby. I know. The days that followed were hard." Jaxon cried every night asking for his dad. Sienna stopped drawing and barely spoke. Bills piled up. Savannah struggled to keep up with her. Quarantine business friends brought food, but at night she was alone. One night, Savannah sat on her porch with a blanket wrapped around her. She looked at the stars and whispered, "Amber Lincoln, if you can hear me, for I need your strength. I need to be." Slowly, Savannah started to rebuild. She woke up every morning at 6 a.m., made breakfast, and packed school lunches. She told the kids bedtime stories Lincoln used to tell. She started posting canny videos online again, just short, simple ones. One day, one of her videos went viral. People loved her natural voice and her story. Orders started to come in again. Jaxon smiled for the first time in weeks when Savannah let him help mix oils. Sienna began drawing pictures of their family, sometimes with Lincoln as an angel in the sky. The strength within months passed. Savannah joined a support group for widows. She met other women who had lost everything but kept going. Some cried, some laughed, and some just listened. One of them, a woman named Aubrey, became her close friend. "Marjo, you need to be perfect," Aubrey told her. "You just need to be present." That night, Savannah wrote in her journal, "As though E thought I couldn't do this, but I can for Sienna, for Jaxon, for Lincoln." A year later, Savannah's business had grown big enough to hire help. She had rebranded it as Skin by Savannah and even got a feature in a lifestyle magazine. Sienna, now 10, had won an art contest with a painting titled "Amidad in the Clouds." Jaxon played soccer and wore his dad's old number, #7. On Lincoln's death anniversary, they lit a lantern and let it fly into the sky. "Anzu Daddy's watching," Jaxon whispered. "Anzu Jas," Savannah said, holding her kids close. "And he is proud." One evening, Savannah took the kids camping. Something Lincoln always wanted to do, but never got the chance. As they sat by the fire roasting marshmallows, Jaxon asked, "Menstrual mom, are you still sad?" Savannah thought for a second. "Emba sometimes, but being with you two makes me happy again." "Are you strong now?" Sienna asked. Savannah smiled. "I think I've always been strong." Years later, Savannah stood in the mirror, adjusting her earrings. Her company now had 5 employees. Her kids were thriving. Sienna was in high school and wanted to study art. Jaxon loved building drones, just like his dad. Savannah looked at Lincoln's photo on her dresser. "Thank you for loving me the way you did. I miss you every day. But we're okay. We're better than okay." She blew a kiss toward the picture and walked out. Outside, her kids were waiting. "Let's go," Savannah said, grabbing her keys. "We have a life to live." And with her head held high, she stepped forward, stronger than before. Moral: even when life breaks your heart, love, strength and hope can build it back stronger than ever. A woman can be soft and strong, broken and brave, grieving and still growing. Savannah didn't.